Welcome to CultureMate. The first of its kind, CultureMate is an online resource that helps you build your cultural competence. The resource gives all staff within an organisation access to a standardised base of cross-cultural knowledge and planning tools. There are 3 products within the resource: the Communication Toolkit, the Community Profiles, and the Learning Resource. The Communication Toolkit lets you drill down into a certain area of service delivery and find out more about the communities living there, where they were born, what languages they speak, what organisations, infrastructure and services are available to these communities, and how to target communication and messages to them in a more effective and culturally sensitive way. The Community Profiles provide information on all countries of birth reflected in our ABS census. The profiles provide demographic information on target communities, as well as migration history and cultural characteristics. The Learning Resource is an online introduction to cross-cultural communication. The resource has been built with industry partners to ensure relevance, and content is based around real-life case study examples from which resources and activities flow. So let's take a look at each product in more detail. The Communication Toolkit drills down into an area of interest and tells you who is in your community and how best to communicate your message or services to them. The Communication Toolkit houses essential planning resources and walks you through the key steps you need to take in order to ensure you know who makes up your target community. Armed with this information, you can create a plan to engage your community in a culturally sensitive way. The Partnership Map provides a central place where all staff within an organisation can contribute and share their partnerships and links to multicultural communities. This is an essential tool for any organisation wanting to leverage the strength of their contacts into diverse communities. Often, within organisations, these links exist without any common knowledge. You can add an entry by clicking on the Add Entry button and filling out the relevant fields. Please note that fields with an asterisk are mandatory. Once listed, entries can be edited or deleted. Your list can also be downloaded into an Excel sheet, making it easier for mail merges and other functions. Moving on to the communication plan, we can now focus on a particular area of interest. This is the main part of the Communication Toolkit. It walks you through the essential steps you need to take to find out who is in your target community and how best to communicate your message or service. The first step is to choose your locality. You can search by local government area, by state or territory, or conduct a national search. I'm going to search within my local government area. To search, highlight the relevant area on the list and then click on the Choose button at the bottom of the page. CultureMate has now brought up data specific to this locality. Here you can see the top 10 overseas birthplaces ranked in order of population. You can also see it has provided a comparison between census periods, as well as information on the percentage change over time. There is also information on the top 10 emerging communities in this locality. Scrolling down to the bottom of the page, you can also see the response analysis for this question. At this stage, we are ready to move on to the next step. Here we can either click Yes to receive organisational and media contacts, as well as data on country of birth, or click No if all we wish to import are organisational and media contacts. Use the drop-down menus to select from the options. Click the plus button to add them to your search list. For a few hints on how to improve your search, look at the tips at the bottom of the page. When you are happy with your selection, click on the Begin Search button. CultureMate will then return a summary of results for any organisations that service the communities you have searched for in your target area. You can always step back if you want to update or expand your search terms. If you are happy with the search result, click on the Compile and Download Communication Plan button. Data will then be downloaded into an Excel sheet you can save onto your desktop. When we open the Excel file, you will see 3 worksheets running across the bottom of the page: Who needs to be informed, About the community, and Communication Plan. The first worksheet, Who Needs to be Informed, has all the demographic data we collected in the first step. It also provides a snapshot of the top 10 LGAs in the state where the communities we have searched for reside. The second worksheet, About the Community, provides detailed information on all the services and organisations working with communities in the chosen locality. For your convenience, any networks relevant to your search that exist within your partnership map will be highlighted under the Partnership Map heading. This sheet also has further data on English language proficiency and the top 3 languages spoken by people born in the country selected. Where English language proficiency is low, CultureMate will provide an alert to you to remind you to think about using in-language communications when targeting messages to this particular community. The final worksheet is the Communication Plan. The plan is a template that you can fill out based on all the information you have just collected. If you are still stuck, you can always go back to the resource and visit the Points to Consider section for tips and hints on some of the different strategies you may be thinking of using. The national directory that the resource draws on throughout the Communication Toolkit has over 4,000 entries and is growing. It is currently the only national directory of multicultural and ethno-specific organisations in Australia. The directory is searchable and information can also be downloaded into an Excel sheet for your convenience. The Community Profiles section provides demographic information on specific Australian communities to increase the understanding of the migrant and refugee experience. Click on an area of the map to bring up a list of countries. Then choose the country you wish to find out more about. Use the left-hand menu to navigate this part of the resource. The Cultural Framework section provides a brief summary of the cultural framework that we use throughout this section. For further information and reading on this framework, you can also visit the Learning resource. The Cultural Values tab provides a comparison of the Australian culture, the profile country's culture, and the world average. It also unpacks what this means for us in our day-to-day lives. The Demographics section of the resource is self-explanatory. It provides a digestible demographic snapshot of this community living in Australia. The External Resources tab provides links to sources and further reading. The Data Notes tab provides additional information on the ABS data that we have used to create the community profiles. These can be downloaded as a PDF by clicking on the download link under the Data Notes header. The final product is the Learning resource. Once in the Learning resource, you will see the following home screen. Please note that this will look slightly different depending on which pathway you are in, but the structure, modules and types of activities remain the same. Pictured in this demonstration is the Sports pathway. This section is a condensed online version of our face-to-face training. We have tried to keep it interactive and interesting, with a range of different content and a choice of activities to engage a broad range of users. Use the tabs at the top of the page to navigate through the modules of the Learning resource. The Learning resource has been designed so that a user can dip in and out of the modules as they choose. It has been developed as a tool that users can revisit when needed to refresh knowledge and update skills. There are 7 modules in the Learning resource that house a range of different activities, self-reflection tasks, and assessment tasks. Use the left-hand menu bar to navigate through each module. Case studies based on common cross-cultural communication problems are the core of the Learning resource. These case studies have been developed in collaboration with industry partners to ensure relevance and credibility. A range of different activities and resources then fall out of each case study and unpack the cultural dimensions at play during the case study interaction. Throughout the Learning resource, CultureMate uses a framework developed by Geert Hofstede to show how culture affects workplace communication. Hofstede and his team of researchers have, over many years, looked at cultural diversity within workplaces around the world to try to understand some of the major differences in values and worldviews. From this research, they have pinpointed how the differences in cultural values are translated into workplace behaviour. Hofstadter and his team have identified 5 major areas where cultural differences may affect workplace communication. That brings us to the end of our introduction. If you have any queries about CultureMate or would like to offer your feedback, please contact us on info@culturemate.com.au. We hope you enjoy using CultureMate and wish you well in your cultural competence journey.